Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Mr. 4K, Boosteroid partner here on my YouTube channel. Today I want to do some comparisons and tests between GeForce Now Ultimate and Boosteroid Ultra. So the first game I'm going to try to see what the waiting time is to connect to the server and to start playing a game. So without any further ado, let's first start Boosteroid version of Borderlands 3 to see how long does it take to load up Borderlands 3. And then after that, we'll quit and we'll start Borderlands 3 from NVIDIA GeForce Now to see how long does it take to connect to the server. So first thing first, let's start with the Borderlands 3 on the Boosteroid. Alright, please wait. $20 seconds. We're already on the Epic. So 20 seconds to connect to a Borderlands 3 application. So it took about 20 seconds. Okay. So let's end the session. And let's see how long does it take for the Borderlands 3 to connect to the application. Because that's all I care about is connecting to the Epic. Once you're connected to the Epic store, that means you're already connected to the server. You have to separately go through their application to start the game. Let's see how long does it take for Borderlands 3 to connect to the Epic store application. I will count in silence while we're pressing play. $23 seconds. Okay, 23 seconds. So this is GeForce Now. Took about 23 seconds to connect to the game. While Boosteroid took 20 seconds only. Okay, let's quit. Okay, let's go again. Let's try Borderlands 3 again. So 23 seconds to connect to the Borderlands 3. Now, one of the things about the GeForce Now is you are directly connected to the game. You don't have to go through the application of Epic store to start the game. Okay, so that's the one advantage that they have is the shortcut where you can directly just go straight to the game once you link in your account. And that's pretty good. 23 seconds, not bad. But on the Boosteroid, you have to go to the application to start the game. I wish that Boosteroid would be able to fix that so you don't have to go through out the application, just go directly to the game. They need to work on that. But let's see again, how long does it take? 19 seconds. 19 seconds. That's pretty good. Okay. GeForce Now is about 23 seconds. Boosteroid, it's 19 seconds, but keep in mind with the Boosteroid, you have to go to their Epic Launch application to start the game from there. So, you know, you're kind of like losing time there because you have to start it from there. While on the GeForce Now, you directly go to the game. But hey, it's still good. 19 seconds. For those of you who are saying that Boosteroid doesn't have a fast enough connection to the server, well, now you see it. Okay, that it does actually. All right, let's try again Borderlands 3. Let's see how long does it take on the GeForce Now. So we'll start the GeForce Now again. "24 seconds. Took about 24 seconds.
Cubos.
24 seconds. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. But you go directly to the game. So that's the advantage that they have. You go directly to the game. So it's 24 seconds, but you go directly to the game. While on the Boosteroid, you go directly to the application. But let's see how long does it take when you click on the play game from the application altogether with 19 seconds. All right, so it's 24 seconds to go to the game here to connect. Okay. So now we're going to do the same thing. We'll jump on Borderlands 3. I'm going to count how long does it take to go to the application, and then how long when I click play from the application. So we'll put all together those seconds. This is Boosteroid now. "17 seconds. Okay, 17 seconds to connect to the application, which is pretty good for the Boosteroid. And let's add how long does it take to connect to the game. Okay, so remember it's 17 seconds to connect to the application, and then we'll add on the extra time. How long does it take when you press play? Once the game loads up, then we'll start counting. Five seconds. So 5 seconds to click play from the application. So 17 seconds to connect to the application of Epic, and additional 5 seconds to play the game. So total of 22 seconds. Total of 20, so 17 plus 5 is 22. Let me see. Yeah, 22. While on the GeForce Now, it's 24 seconds. So on the GeForce Now, to get to this part right here, takes you 24 seconds. Okay? While on Boosteroid takes you 22 seconds. So as you can see, I mean, it's not like it's a much of a difference, 2 seconds here and there. But the point being is that Boosteroid gets you pretty quick to play the game. It doesn't take too long. And the reason I'm doing this comparison because I want to clarify all of the, you know, all the noise out there, people putting out misinformation saying that Boosteroid doesn't load up that fast. It does, as you can see right here, okay, on this video. So actually, Boosteroid loads the game much quicker, 22 seconds, versus GeForce Now, which is 24 seconds. Now, the only difference with GeForce Now is you don't have to go to the Epic application to start the game. It remembers automatically, so altogether takes about 24 seconds. So they're pretty close. I mean, they're both equally fast, and in terms of quality, they're pretty much equally the same. I don't see the difference like in terms of like quality here. Let's look at the frame rates. Let's just play a little bit. Let's just continue. So this is Boosteroid. I'll let you know what the frames are. Let me see. Hundred 120 frames. 120 frames. Uh, 23 milliseconds. Pretty good. 120 frames. Now it's 21 milliseconds. So it varies between 23, 22, 21 milliseconds, which is pretty good. So that's Boosteroid. All right, let's exit the session from the Boosteroid, and let's jump into Borderlands 3 and let's see how Borderlands 3 on the GeForce Now handles with frame rates. So as you can see, I mean, Boosteroid and GeForce Now, they're not that much different, honestly. The only difference is obviously the greed, the time limit, and the fact that you have to pay $20. And that you have to pay additional $6 for additional 15 hours of added playtime. So that's the big, you know, Godzilla, the green NVIDIA's greedy Godzilla in the room that I have to mention. You know, even with today's 5080 tests, I have to mention that NVIDIA's greedy Godzilla that's in the room. And I think that's one of the problems and issues surrounding Nvidia, honestly. It's that greed, it's that limitations on how much can you play. But this notion that somehow, you will have a smoother and better experience with GeForce Now, like, come on, really? Quality is because they're using the same codec, H.265, guys. They're using the same codec. Okay. Let's play. So let's show statistics. 18 milliseconds, 19 milliseconds, 20 milliseconds. All right, let's go. Okay, so I'm getting what? 23 to 21 to 20 milliseconds. Here, I'm getting 18 milliseconds, 19 milliseconds, 20. All right, so it's not like 20. Okay, so I'm getting about the same milliseconds, man. I'm getting about the same 20 milliseconds as I am over there. Okay, so at the Boosteroid, I'm getting like 23 to 22 to 21. Sometimes it drops down to 19. It varies, just like here. Okay, so it's about the same, 20 milliseconds, give or take. It's not like you're not gonna see like a drastic difference between, what I'm getting on a Boosteroid between 20 to 23 milliseconds, then here 19 to 21 milliseconds. Okay. Yes, it doesn't go above 20. It stays below 20, which is 19 to 20. But it's still not like a drastic difference. I mean, I still get good. It's still close. Same performance, 120, 20 milliseconds, just like I'm getting at a Boosteroid, 21, 22. The only difference is at the Boosteroid, it goes below 23. Here goes below 20, between 19, 18, and 16. So you get a little bit of an advantage here. But considering that it's a Boosteroid and that I am not that close to the data center, Boosteroid's still doing a pretty close, damn good job keeping up with Nvidia. Okay? All right. So all of you who are saying that, oh, Nvidia has better frame rate, has better this, has better that, Boosteroid is pretty darn close. 3 milliseconds up and down, it's not gonna really like be a game changer. You guys are acting as if you're getting like 12 milliseconds. If I was getting like 12 milliseconds on GeForce Now, okay. If it was like a fixed 12 milliseconds, then fine. But it's not like a fixed 12 milliseconds. Say 20 to 21 milliseconds. On the booster, I'm getting 23 to 21 to 20 to 19 milliseconds, which is pretty close to what we are getting at the GeForce Now. All right, so the Boosteroid is doing a pretty darn good job. And I hope when you're watching this video, I hope you realize that we're not talking like a drastic difference on a GeForce Now. We're not talking like 12, if you're getting like 12 milliseconds, like fixed 12 milliseconds on a GeForce Now, then yeah, that's pretty awesome. But you're not. You're still getting 20 to 19 to 20 to 21, just like with the Boosteroid, 20 to 21, 23 to 19. It goes maybe a little bit higher to 23. So you're still getting a pretty close latency. Boosteroid and GeForce Now, they're not that far apart. So this notion that the GeForce Now is the be-all, end-all, the greatest thing since sliced bread, that's not the case. Look, see, this is the difference between me and other people. I try everything. I get to try both of these services, and I get to see for myself. I don't have to just listen to what the noise out there on the internet is saying. So let's start Boosteroid again with the Borderlands 3. And you'll see the same milliseconds. Not only do you get unlimited time to play, but as you can see, you're still getting very close latency. And they're using the same codec, which is H.265. Not only are you getting a very same close latency, but you're also getting H.265 codec. So, and you can adjust the bitrate to, I left it at 42 megabits, but I can crank it up to, listen, I can crank up my bitrate higher to 50 if I wanted to. Okay, that's not an issue. All right, so let's start the Borderlands 3. So what I'm essentially saying is, all of you are talking to me as if GeForce Now, it's like 4 milliseconds latency or something, you know. Come on. You know. And they should be 4 milliseconds considering how big of a company they are, right? They should be able to give you 4 milliseconds. But no, they're giving you 20 to 21 milliseconds. And with the Boosteroid, you get 23 to 22 to 21, also to 19 to 20. And they both vary. GeForce Now varies, goes between 21 to 20 to 19. Boosteroid varies between 23 to 22 to 21. I mean, come on, guys. Let's be real here. Okay. Quality is the same. Now, if the brightness bothers you, don't worry. I can adjust the brightness. I can bring it down to default. There it is. If that's the issue. So 120 frames per second, 21, 22 milliseconds. So you guys are talking to me as if there's some kind of a drastic difference in terms of your experience with GeForce Now and Boosteroid. (120 frames per second, 2120 milliseconds, 1920, 1920, 1920, 1920. Now it's a 24, 23, 22, 20. So it's not like you're getting some drastic difference. I'm always looking for drastic difference, guys. When it comes to like um, comparing these services, I'm looking at, okay, so the Boosteroid is a smaller company. They're not a big corporation. And they still manage to keep up with GeForce Now. GeForce Now, it's this huge corporation, and they're still struggling to give you 4 milliseconds or 12 milliseconds fixed latency. All right. And they're using the same codec H.265, H.265. The only drastic difference between GeForce Now and Boosteroid at the moment, for me, is the fact that they're greedy and they're charging you extra money on how much can you play. To me, that's the biggest difference. I don't want any limitations, guys, on my service. So Boosteroid is doing everything better. They're not charging you arm and leg. Let's exit this. They're not charging you arm and leg, and they're not giving you limitations on how much can you play. And this is one of the reasons why I support Boosteroid, man. It's just more affordable. It's user friendly for the gamers. GeForce Now, man. It's like, what am I getting that's better in terms of latency? We're not getting like some super great latency with GeForce Now. Either. It's still at 20 milliseconds. Okay? It's still at 20 milliseconds. And we're still getting H.265 codec. Okay? And they're using a H.265 codec with a 10-bit, color, which is used for 4K television and HDR. Now, they don't have HDR at the moment, but they said they will in the future. Their main focus right now is the data centers, but they will implement UHD color in the future. So, as you can see, the loading time, it's close. Look, so what have we learned? We learned that the loading time, it's pretty close. 24 seconds, 22 seconds for Boosteroid, 24 seconds for GeForce Now. The only difference is you don't have to take a shortcut. With the GeForce Now, it goes directly to the game, which is cool, but it still takes you 24 seconds. With the Boosteroid, you have to go to the application. To go to the application takes you 17 seconds. And then from application, when you click play, it takes you an additional 5 seconds. So 17 plus 5 is 22 seconds. So 22 seconds, 24 seconds, it's close. Latency, pretty close. 20 to 19, 23 to 21 to 20 to 20 to 19. It varies. It's never fixed latency. Same thing with the Boosteroid. It varies, but it never goes above 23 milliseconds. So when it comes to latency, it's pretty close. When it comes to performance, it's identical, 120 frames per second. When it comes to the codec, it's a H.265. When it comes to 10-bit color, sure, GeForce Now, they have HDR, so they take the advantage on the GeForce Now, sure, with HDR. So they have the HDR. Boosteroid doesn't have HDR. But to me, HDR, it's really not all that important, right? But they did say that they will implement HDR in the future, okay? So they're pretty identical in terms of like how quickly it loads and how quickly you can play the game, and the latency is pretty identical. Quality is pretty identical. The major differences, like I just said, is the greed. GeForce Now, it's expensive and has time limit on it. Boosteroid is not expensive. It's affordable. It has no time limit. I guess what else you can do on Boosteroid? You can stream directly to YouTube. You can stream directly to YouTube from the browser, and you can also use Boostcast to stream privately with up to 15 of your friends together from Boosteroid. Can you do that on GeForce Now? You can't. And it's still cheaper route. Boosteroid is just a cheaper route, better route. I know they got that 5080 coming out today, and they're doing a maintenance right now. But even with that 5080, what's the point? You're still paying $20 a month. You still have limited time, you know. So how much time do I have left? Let's see. Let me look at the games. $88 hours and 49 minutes. 88 hours and 49 minutes. Yeah. You see how quickly you go through the time? Like a butter. Like a butter. 88 hours and 49 minutes. Like a butter, dude, you go through the time. People who try to tell me that 100 hours it's enough, like, please, just drop it, man. Drop the whole narrative, because you know it's a bunch of baloney. All right. 88 hours and 49 minutes. This is just enough time for me to do 20-minute videos on the RTX 5080. See how it runs. And that's it. And I'll use up those 88 hours pretty quick, pretty fast. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look, I have both services. And I'm telling you that there's not like a drastic difference between them two. The only drastic difference is in how much are you paying. But in terms of performance, in terms of like experience, it'll be the same. The only drastic difference is how much you're paying. How much you're paying on a GeForce Now versus how much you're paying on a Boosteroid. It's not bad enough that you have to pay $20, but you're also limited how much can you play. I don't like that. I want total freedom to play as much as I want to play. That's the whole point, guys, is to play as much as you want to play. And you're paying cheaper. You're paying $9.89. Over here, you're paying $20 with limited time. So, Boosteroid for me, man, all the way. You know. But anyway, you guys let me know, what do you think? What are your opinions about this? You see what I see. Okay. This video has to be long because it takes a while to load these games and check everything properly. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Make sure you go to www.boosteroid.com. www.boosteroid.com. Thank you for watching.